It's a bit of a mystery in Kenya about who is abducting government critics who have been disappearing since these protests began in June. At least 82 people, according to the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights. And what seems to happen is as soon as somebody becomes critical of the government on social media or organizes a protest, they disappear. Some of them have come back and said they were tortured. They were chained to the floor, naked, and questioned about the source of the funding or just why they're being so vocal against the government of President William Ruto. He says that he will stop the abductions, but he also had a conditional part of that he will stop the abductions, but the young people of Kenya have to behave, they have to be polite, and they have to be disciplined, which people saw as a tacit endorsement, or at least an admission that his government has been abducting some critics. In the last 2 or 3 weeks, several more people have disappeared. Some of them young people in their 20s who posted AI-generated images of President William Ruto in a casket. One of them, a popular cartoonist who's been sharing satirical silhouettes of President William Ruto. They've all disappeared. Their families believe they were picked up, tracked on their phone, and picked up by Kenyan security forces. I want you to listen to one of the family members.
I am here as a parent. Please, I am begging. I have cried enough. I do not have strength. I feel like dying.
And so, a short while ago, a judge in Kenya has ordered the national police and the security agencies to unconditionally release the abducted people that are in their custody, even though the police have claimed they don't have them in their custody, and they're investigating why. Many in the country just don't believe them. The families don't believe them because they haven't made any attempts to investigate who exactly is snatching these critics off the road. And they've disappeared, some of them, for several months now, Becky.
It's good to have you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. To Larry, who is today in Luanda, in Angola. Right.
The Kenya Kwanza administration is now making international headlines. This is after CNN featured them on their series of news from Africa after the outcry on the rising number of abduction went international. In the recent days, we have seen how the Kenya Kwanza government has dealt with its critics, especially the young Gen Z, since the start of the anti-finance bill of 2024, which was really contested, and they ended up downing. And when you look at how this thing happened, the young people are not relenting. They also went to fight the Adani saga with the Kentraco and JKIA, where Adani was supposed to get the airport for 30 years. And these were some of the controversial things which the young people were fighting and were against. And if you look at how things are going at the moment, it seems some of these things which the young people were opposing are now being dropped by the president. One of them being the finance bill, second being the JKIA and Kentraco deals with Adani.
You know, I think this is why we have a lot of trouble in government. If the kind of arguments and the advice that the government is having and communication that the government is having is this nature, Gabriel says there are no two governments.
Correct.
Okay? But again, he says, you don't blame government for the abductions, blame the police. You know, he's talking like police is a government of another country, or is a body that is formed by some opposition or some people somewhere else. Are you getting? Are you getting? It's like Gabriel doesn't understand that even though police is independent, quote unquote, I don't know when it actually became independent, if the police was independent, is it not part of government? And when you claim and accept, and I like at least the two of them, and that's why I'm asking them whether they are listening to themselves talking and whether they are actually understanding what they are saying. Because they're basically saying, yes, we accept we have a problem, we accept abductions are going on, we accept the police is at fault, and all that they have accepted. But they have forgotten that the police are government. Government has police as the only force that should use coercion and maintain rule of law. And of course, the instruments of force by the government are exercised by the police, which is part of government. Why do we elect a president? Why do we elect a government? Why is it that the IG has to be nominated or appointed by the president after through the vetting? It's because at the end of the day, the IG or the person who is accountable for how government runs is the president, is a government. So you cannot be the deputy government spokesman, and when you are speaking, you accept liability for police, but refuse to accept liability for government. You know, what we are saying is this. We do not want all these explanations. The president said, while in I think in Homa Bay, he said clearly that hiyo mmesema ya watoto kutekwa nyara, hiyo nao tutaacha. Yeah? Itasimama. That's what he said. Lakini pia ninataka kuwaelezea that go and talk to your children. Yeah? Wapate nidhamu. Good. So, can the president then make sure the abduction stop?
Okay.
You see?
Yes, Eric.
But two, you are asking us to teach our children discipline.
Yeah.
But give them an opportunity to live so that we can teach them discipline.
Okay.
Don't kill them.
Yes, Eric.
I wanted to say this, that
the issue of abduction is what has been trending in Kenya. Many people citing that indeed there is a problem the way this government was handling its critics. Many young people were suffering, many parents were crying across the public, raising question that the government, does it really care for its people? Does it care for the generation? Yesterday, during the demonstration in Nairobi and the prayer rally for the people who abducted was held, here is what they said.
So we are here as women to say we demand the release of Tibet. As Kenyan youth, as Kenyan people, we demand that our comrades are released unconditionally and as safely as possible. Ni vibaya sana tunatokea kama Wakenya tunasema end abductions day, release our comrades, na serikali hata kwanza last maandamano we were being tear gas while they were still holding. This time leo pia tumetokea na bado wameshindwa. Serikali iache kutukasirisha. Serikali iache kutujaribu our patience. Serikali iache kukatili kusubvert our constitution. When someone is arrested, they should be arrested 24 hours and presented in court. Nowadays people are missing for days and being found dead. That is not a country we are proud of. That is not a country we want to live in, and we want to demand the immediate release of Tibet. We want to demand the immediate release of all the comrades that have been arrested and abducted, and up to now we do not know their whereabouts. That is why we are here on the streets today. That is why we came out today, to join our mothers as they pray, and we demand from the government of the day that you stop abductions, that you stop violating our constitution, that you stop subverting our rights and freedoms as the people of Kenya. Tunasema tunataka Tibet, tunataka watu wote walio abductiwa wareleasiwe free, wakiwa safe, and they are not tortured. And actually it is such a shame that this is the reality of Kenyan youths, that tukitembea people are looking over their shoulders, that they are not abducted, that people are relating with jokes that are being made about abductions in Kenya, that Katiba has completely been violated. Ni kama William Samoei Ruto ame suspend Constitution of Kenya 2010. And we want to remind the ruling elite that all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya. And the people are angry, the people are pained, the people are annoyed, the people are sad that this is the reality of Kenya today, that fundamental rights and freedoms are no longer a given. The things we have to come out and protest about. And abductions wako wapi?